if I use the free software, can I use it forever, or do I have to upgrade at some point in time? You can use the free software as long as you want. You don't have to upgrade. However, you're probably going to want to upgrade. The reason for that is because the paid software has more features. You can be quicker, you can be more effective. And so that's what I found myself doing. I started with the free software. I started with Audacity. I started with GarageBand. And then after a while, I tried something better. So those are my suggestions for software when you're starting out. For paid softwares, the ones I can recommend are Adobe Audition, FL Studio, Reaper, to name a few. So those are 3 paid softwares. Now, use the one that you're most comfortable with. Some of you already have software that you're using and you're very comfortable with it. So stick with that. There's no need to change if you're actually getting good results. So that's the software. Now, here's the thing. You don't want to learn it all on your own. That's probably the worst way to learn it. I mean, it's not a bad way, but it's not the best way. Clicking around, kind of just guessing, is going to take forever, and you're always going to have doubts in your mind. Am I doing this right? What do I do? What if I mess this up, right? Learning it on your own can be very stressful. So you want to learn from someone else who's already done it. You want to actually follow tutorials, follow a process, follow someone else's expertise and guidance. That's going to help so much if you're learning software for the first time. So that's my opinion on that, on the audio software. Another thing too I want to add is that computers can run audio software no problems. Audio software is not power hungry, so you can run it smoothly. You can do huge projects with music, sound effects, and your computer will not have any problems or slow down because audio software is not power hungry. It's not resource intensive. So keep that in mind. Choose and even experiment with different softwares if you want to find the one that feels like home, to find the one that feels best for you. Anyway, that is my opening topic for this morning is audio softwares. Choose the one that's best for you. Start off with the free software if you want, and then upgrade if you'd like over time to get something more robust with more features, and learn from someone who has already done it so that they can guide you, so that you can see someone's process, and so that you don't have to do a lot of trial and error on your own. Anyways, now let's jump into the main content, which is how to get started recording voiceovers from home. If you're excited to learn, if you have any questions, drop it down into the comments. Drop it down to the comments. We got a couple comments already. We got one here from Powerhouse Fan. How to not stumble when reading a script. Easy. All you do, at least from my experience, you want to skim it. Skim it one time so you know kind of what it's about. And then you read it once through without recording. Read it once through. Keep mind of where you stumbled, where the tricky parts were, and then redo those until they're smooth. Redo the tricky parts until they're smooth. Now you can do it from the top, and you know exactly where to actually navigate the tricky parts. You know what's coming up, and it becomes a lot easier. So that's how you prevent stumbling. So Crazy Deals over here says, AI voiceovers are getting crazy, bro. Now here's the thing. I use some of the most advanced AI software myself because I like to stay on top of these trends. I like to, know what's going on in the AI world. But AI does not have a soul. It doesn't have life. It doesn't have emotion the way a real human voice does. It's not nearly as dynamic. And so that's super important, especially for certain projects like animation, any sort of projects where you're actually connecting with an audience. So that's super important. I've even listened to some AI voices for audiobooks, and it's just not the same. You can tell it's AI. You can tell it's not real. And so companies actually have budgets for this type of thing. So, why would they pay for an imitation of the real voice when they could just get the real thing? And so that's why the projects are still growing. They're still flowing. We're listening to Japanese funk and soul on vinyl. This is the late 70s, early 80s. Great suggestion for today. I'm going to do that from now on. I'm going to ask for suggestions on the music because I've always stuck to the same station. I want to change it up every time I go live. But anyway, we did hit 500 likes, so here's what I want to talk about today on this live. How to get started recording voiceovers from home. So basically the qualifications you might need, the equipment. We're going to talk about how to know if you have the right voice. We want to talk about the jobs, the websites, and even your demo. What is a demo? How do you put one together? So that's the stuff I want to cover on this live. And I also want to answer your questions. So if you have any questions at any time, drop it down to the comments below. We got one off rip. Super Goo says, what are your recommendations for audition sites? Off the top of the dome, I can recommend Upwork and Voices.com. Voices123 can also be a good place to audition. But keep in mind, Voices.com and Voices123 are paid subscription sites. So you have to pay to actually join. Whereas Upwork is a free site. And so for me, I was a big fan of the free sites because I wanted to see if it would work for me first. But it depends, some people have had a lot of success with the paid sites as well. So those are the websites, my friend. I will get to that in just a bit, though. I will get into more detail. But I want to start off with the basics. Like, do I need, qualifications? Here's the thing. You don't have to have a degree to do this. You don't have to have an agent or an agency to do this. A lot of people have been able to do this recording from their closet. Like myself, I've been able to do this completely independently from home. And so people have asked me, how did you get into that? How did you get started? That's why I'm here on TikTok. I'm here to show you kind of my process and how I did this and how you can get started doing this as well. So yeah, that's the whole process. That's how I did it. That's how I went about it. So that's good news. You can do this independently from home, from your own bedroom. The other thing is, what equipment do you need? To keep it simple, you're going to need a computer, you're going to need a place to record, and you're going to need a microphone. So the computer, you can use a desktop, you can use a laptop, you can use a Mac, you can use a PC. My only recommendation is that it's not too old. You don't want it to be older than 10 years. But the good news is that recording software is not power hungry, so you can run it smoothly on most machines. So that's good news. So you probably already have a computer. The next thing you're gonna want is a recording booth. So the place to record, you gotta record somewhere. And the places that have worked for me have been my bedroom, a walk-in closet, or a regular closet. Those are ideal places. It's not too big, so the space isn't too big, and it's not too small where you're cramped up or your microphone's in a little box. So around that size is gonna work really well. Now, you do want sound treatment. You don't just want to, put your microphone in your closet or in your room and start recording. You want to sound treat the booth first, which means you don't have noises. You put up things on the walls so that it absorbs any echoes, any sort of reflections. Last but not least is the microphone. Of course, we need a microphone. Can't record without a mic. Now, the good news is there's lots of options these days, especially consumer-friendly mics, budget-friendly mics. There's tons of good beginners mics that you can actually get. So the main thing to look out for is a condenser microphone. You want a condenser because they pick up a lot of details in the voice. They're going to pick up the most quality. That's what I recommend. So a condenser microphone. Hi from New Jersey. Hello, my friend. Hello. Let's go. So that's the equipment in a nutshell. Now, how do you know if you have the right voice? How do you know if you have the right voice for this? There's lots of projects on the market that need all different kinds of voices. Male voices, female voices of all different ages. People even ask me, am I too old to do this or am I too young? It's not about the age. It's about how you sound. So keep that in mind. No one's going to ask you your age. They're going to listen to your demo. They're going to listen to your voice and what it sounds like. And then they're going to have an idea of what you can do. And they'll be able to make a decision and decide if they want to work with you. And sometimes they'll ask you to do an audition for them. In that case, knock it out of the park, put on a great audition, and then if they want to work with you, they'll reach out. So let's get to the websites now. What websites do I use? What do I recommend? And how can you be successful on them? So the website that I've used the longest is Fiverr. That's actually where I got my start. Back in 2010, I signed up on Fiverr, and you make a profile, you upload your demo, you make a description, you can choose your pricing. You're in full control. That's what I love about it. You are in full control, so you're basically running your business however you want. And so you will want to make a demo. No matter which website you use, you are going to want to make a demo. The demo is kind of like a portfolio. It shows customers what your voice is like, what your versatility is like, what styles you can do, and in a short amount of time too. It's about a minute. Usually a demo is about a minute long. It doesn't have to be longer, they can play this back and they can make a decision of if you're a good fit for the project. So yeah, that's the demo. Now, if you're doing this independently like myself, you will want to make a demo. You will need a good recording space. You will need to learn how to use your microphone, and you'll need to learn how to use your recording software as well. So all of these things are important. Don't just go to the website, make a profile, and expect work. You do have to actually create a good sounding demo. So there's a process to it, but if you would like to learn how to create your own demo and how to actually get started, I put together a step-by-step starter course that walks you through this whole process, from what mic to use, how to use it correctly, to actually putting together your recording booth, to warming up your style, to finding out what kind of training exercises you can use for your voice, to recording and editing your first voiceovers in Audacity so you can put together your very own demo. That starter course is available in the link in my bio. It's only a one-time $27 for lifetime access. So super affordable, super accessible. Hopefully we'll see you inside if you're ready to get started.